Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Digital Health Entrepreneurship Daily. We want to start this episode by showing you a quick video and seeing what connections you make to the entrepreneurial journey.
I've seen dark before, but not like this. This is cold, this is empty, this is numb. The life I knew is over, the lights are out. Hello, darkness, I'm ready to succumb. I follow you around, I always have. But you've gone to a place I cannot find. This grief has a gravity, it pulls me down. But a tiny voice whispers in my mind. You are lost, hope is gone. But you must go on and do the next right thing. Can there be a day beyond this night? I don't know anymore what is true. Can't find my direction, I'm all alone. The only star that guided me was you. How to rise from the floor when it's not you I'm rising for. Just do the next right thing. Take a step, step again. All that I can to do the next right thing. I won't look too far ahead. It's too much for me to take. But break it down to this next breath, this next step, this next choice is one that I can make. Then I'll make the choice to hear that voice and do the next right thing.
Excellent.
I'm so confused.
What did we learn from that, kids? So
we learned that the heroine of Frozen can jump across cliffs like Neo from Matrix.
what we actually learned is that in entrepreneurship, when you do not know what to do because there are so many problems or so many things going on, that you just do the next right thing.
Laurence, are you feeling cold and alone and stuck in a dark cave?
I'm feeling very nostalgic. I mean, I think I almost cried from that video.
It's good. Lee, you got to get it. You're the one with the daughter out of the three of us. But no, it's I actually think that song is great. Although, yes, it's got some cheese in it, but I mean, I think it's profound of like when you literally don't know what to do or everything goes out the window, you just have to focus on one step. So how have you seen that to be true in your journey, Laurence?
Well, I mean, I think the entire source of anxiety as an entrepreneur comes from worrying about all your different problems and figuring out what to do next, and just do something that matches the criteria of doing the next right thing. And then when you do that, do the next right thing, and the next right thing, and the next right thing, and the next right thing. And before you know it, you've done 10 things that are not the next right thing, and you are now in a totally different place. Rather than worrying, just do the next right thing, and things will be good.
Huh. Is this like staying in the moment, living in the moment? Like stop dreading, dwelling on the negativity of the past or the crap of past, maybe mistakes. Is it something like that? I don't think this is very philosophical, but go for it.
Partially. I mean, I think people get a lot of anxiety from thinking about the past and the future rather than living in the present moment. I mean, that's where anxiety comes from. I mean, most of the time, like even with COVID-19, like, you're just walking down a beautiful street. Like, well, why are you all scared? Because you're watching CNN and thinking all the bad things that might happen, or you're thinking about the past, about mistakes you can make. I mean, so a lot of it is about living in the present moment. But I often find in entrepreneurship, if you would just stop analyzing and worrying and just do the next right thing, then you'd be fine. I mean, obviously you also need to analyze and think critically and reflect, but that's different than the worrying type of analyzation that's usually not very productive.
Mm-hmm. Do you like have conversations with your staff and just say things like, that's in the past, let's just move on, let's just go to the next thing? Do you try to coach people like that?
I probably need to do more of it, but it's more of like the dialogue with myself. Yeah, I think that like emotional accounting is like a whole concept that nobody talks about. It's a phrase I made up, but like I think people look at entrepreneurship as too much of like financial numbers. Like, what is the profit and loss statement? But like, is it possible that, an entrepreneur could do something that is not the best financial outcome for the company, but it emotionally, motivates them more? Like, is that a better outcome? Like, probably in the long term, the emotion of the entrepreneur and the management team is so important. So anyway, I just think that a lot of anxiety comes from just worrying instead of just doing the next right thing and being productive. So.
Do you have like an example, like recently where, you were in the place where you had a ton and you just had to pick one thing?
You want one example? You want just one? How about like every waking moment of my time on this earth? I mean,
what I meant is, give me an example in the last 13 minutes. No.
No, but it's, I mean, when I wake up in the morning and when I have downtime at night, I mean, that's when the mind wanders. I had a psychologist once that said an idle mind is the devil's playground. So, I mean, that is when the mind wanders and the mind, becomes anxious. And that is when you need to remind yourself to do the next right thing. When you have 20 calls in a row during the day, you don't even have time to do anything except live in the present moment. But I think entrepreneurs deal with anxiety in the morning and at night. That's when they deal with it.
Yeah, I'm curious. Laurence, you don't have any kids. Why did you watch Frozen? Where did you come across Frozen 2? And why did you know that this song exists in Frozen 2?
Oh, you don't know about my Disney obsession?
I don't.
Oh, I'm truly obsessed. Well, I was always interested in Disney when I was younger, but the quantity of times that my wife and I have been to Disney World is embarrassing.
I want to know, over or under 20?
Over 20 by far.
That's extraordinary.
And like just in like the last 4 years, like that is like our vacation spot basically. But
you have to unpack this for us as your co-hosts and for every listener listening. Yep. You're like, what's your obsession with Disney? Just lay it out. Come on, man.
No, it's the happiest place on earth. I mean, ultimately I did get a little, well, first of all, I proposed to my wife there at the Grand Floridian. Basically, we went out and basically I got Disney to put like 100 heart-shaped balloons and flowers on all the different, tables and everything. And then I surprised her basically. But aside from that, I mean, it's definitely a happy place. I mean, I have gotten a little bit sick of it because there's too many kids. So we did end up going on our honeymoon to Aruba instead of Disney. But and now with the pandemic, who knows when we're going to be going back because it's so many people. But I've told myself that if I ever go to Disney again, which I will, I'm only staying at the Four Seasons, where it's like an adult hotel. You stay at like Animal Kingdom Lodge. And I know a lot of doctors have, because a lot of doctors have kids, and I know a lot of them go to Disney World. Like the number of times where I found myself in Disney World while like one of our doctor investors is in Disney with their kids, and I see it on Facebook, and I'm just like, no, we cannot see each other here. Like I am not saying hi, but I don't know. It's a happy place. And also I think they have really good customer service. I mean, a lot of the times when I think about designing our product, I think like, how do you get to that like Disney level quality, like the Magic Band quality, the customer service, like the attitude that the employees have towards, the customers. I mean, they actually have a Disney Institute where they'll train you in how to do that. I've never done it, but I've been thinking about doing it. So it's, I don't know. It's just, it's an enjoyable experience. Probably has something to do with my childhood obsession. I was a Disney kid, I guess.
I feel like we could probably do like 10 episodes on the business lessons that you're implementing from what you've learned about Disney.
I definitely want to send you to Disney Institute so that we can just talk about it once a week.
Yeah, pretty much.
Take that out of it.
I think we all need to go to the Disney Institute, and then at nighttime we need to debrief in live podcasts.
Yeah, but also, I mean, a lot of the Disney movies are corny, but like, look at that Frozen video. I mean, they do teach you a lot of interesting life lessons. No, like at Epcot, they have that attraction that's about like the history of America and like American innovation and stuff. And it's like, whoa, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Anyway.
You should watch, if you haven't, you should watch the Imagineers documentary that's on Disney Plus.
I've watched everything about Disney that exists. So. Maybe you should go to Disney World a little more.
Yeah, maybe he has said that he's been 20 plus times. Probably one documentary you referred to.
Yeah. I got you there.
Yeah. When I hear that people haven't been to Disney World, I'm like, what is wrong with you? Like, you haven't even been once? Like, you weren't even just like curious? Anyway.
Like, I worked with a client once, and he was a business coach, and he would never work with a client if they don't read books. Like, one person just outright said, no, I don't read books. I just read, And I'm like, come on, man. But you, Laurence, if you wouldn't work with somebody if they have me into Disney, that's...
No. I mean, I will.
I know, we're playing.
No, what I try to do is I try to convert them. Like, I don't think our lawyer's ever been to Disney, and that's why he's such an asshole. So, I mean, I'll convert them all one day. Actually, there's some companies that have an annual trip to Disney World. Now that we have more money, maybe if we hit our profit goals for the next 12 months, maybe we'll do a company Disney trip. But you never know. It depends how much money we make. We don't want to piss the investors off and waste their money at Disney World. But if we make $5 million of profit, I feel like a Disney trip is deserved.
There we go. Okay, so I want to bring this back, and kind of before we go, I want to ask you one more like business question about this, because there's like the micro versions of these decisions. Like, okay, I have these priorities. Which one do I do now? And then the next one. But I'm sure that there's like a ton of things that you could be pursuing at a high level of like business development projects and stuff. What are some things right now that you're prioritizing that you've had to decide, like, yeah, there's a lot of opportunities that we could be doing at Fruit Street, but we just got to do like the next right thing at more of like a big picture level?
Yeah, I mean, right now we're just working towards launching the COVID MD product at scale. So getting things like e-prescribe, lab ordering, billing with this company called Change Healthcare. So we're just working towards like building the product. And like sometimes the next right thing is like super obvious. Like when you don't have a product, you have to build a product, right? But once you have a product, and then you need to sometimes think about, well, what's the right business model? And sometimes the next right thing is to block an hour or 2 or 3 or 6 on your calendar with your management team and think about what the next right thing is for 12 months.
Right.
Like, do you know how many teams don't even have like one day where they plan what they do for the rest of the year? Like one day, right? Like they'll have like a 1-hour meeting to plan the next, 30,000 hours that their team is going to spend collectively.
Right.
So when I say do the next right thing, I don't mean just like keep doing things and don't analyze. But what I mean is when you get into this mindset of worrying about everything, just like stop worrying and just start doing something productive.
What about like the next right thing versus like the next really, really good and hopefully the best thing. Because sometimes I feel like people they're like, well, I don't know what the right one is. And so they wait and they process and they end up procrastinating, as opposed to just being like, that's a good step forward. Like, do you wait until you know the best thing?
I would say typically with entrepreneurs, there's always a list of like 20 things you could be doing. And like 5 are like, well, maybe I should do it. And like 15 are things that are definitely productive.
Right.
So like when you're like in that worrying state, probably the next best state to get into mentally is to do something productive. Like I wouldn't jump from like worrying all the way to let me make a really risky decision. Like let me do something productive. And then when I'm in a better mental state, I'll think about something that's more risky.
Right. Yeah, I think that's good. Lee, what do you think?
Okay. I want to go back to Disney. Laurence, talk to me. Toy Story 4 or Coco?
Toy Story. But also, I get very emotional about Disney. One time I was in Disney World with my wife and she hates stuffed animals, hates them. And I wanted a stuffed Mickey and she wouldn't get me one. And we were at Epcot. So what did I do? I did something I had to do to get my way, which is that I cried in front of everybody until she bought me that stuffed Mickey. So I can turn on the fake tears if I need to. And I got the Mickey.
Okay, so the real question about Disney is, do you know what Club 33 is?
I don't.
What is that?
Okay, this is going to blow your mind. I have not been, and this is the funny thing, I have not been inside of a Disney, I have not been to a Disney park, but I've been to Club 33, which the most common story is that it's a private club at Disneyland that Walt Disney opened for his 33 original investors. So there's only, I think, maybe like 2,500 members, and it's like tens of thousands I think it's like a $30,000 initiation fee once you make it off the waiting list. And then it's like $30,000 a year in dues to initially get access to this private restaurant that once you get in is still like $200 a plate and you have to have reservations. So I was
I'll have to investigate that, but I think I'm only allowed to do that once we have an IPO, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. But so I was at a conference and the person I was with knew somebody who reserved the whole restaurant. And so he brought us in as guests. So my only experience with a Disney park is showing up to a like cast member, initially checking to make sure my name was on a list, then private escorting us through Disneyland to a door where they opened up one of the little peepholes, again, checked to make sure our name was on a list, and then took us up in this restaurant where there's all these like Disney artifacts from the original Mary Poppins and all this stuff. And we sit down and it was like one of the best meals I've ever had. And you literally, like, if you showed up with $50,000 at the door, they wouldn't let you in if you're not like a member or don't have a reservation. So I haven't been to the parks as much as you, but somehow I'll probably never get in that restaurant again. But Laurence, I feel like that needs to be on your bucket list, is to go to that.
Yeah, certainly. If I just keep doing the next right thing, one day that'll happen.
It's true. Well, thank you everybody for listening. And next Tuesday, come back and join us for what we can learn from Disney daily on digital health entrepreneurship.
Yes.
No. This is good. Thanks.
Watch your Disney movies, folks. We have to say that's all, folks, or is that Warner Brothers? I think that counts. Bugs Bunny's Disney in my books, even though it's not, but that's fine.
All right. Well, Laurence, you have to sign us off then.
That's all, folks.